There are a lot of narratives being portrayed or presented to the public about battle rap, and I'm not 100% sure that I agree with or like all of them. Some of them are coming from the leagues, some of them are coming from the battlers themselves, some of them are coming from the fans, and some of them are coming from the bloggers. This is Direct. You haven't seen me in a long time, but this is why I'm back. All right. Chrome 23 Cancel Christmas went down last night, Friday, December 8th. Let's get into it and let's talk about it. First and foremost, I'm your boy Direct. You can catch me here, I guess, on my blogging podcast, or you can catch me every Friday, 1 p.m. on Rapgrid show Don't Quote Me, featuring Hurricane Dew, The Last MJ, June Peas, my boy PC, P to the third letter, Punchline Champion. We talk about battle events. We talk about things that are popular on social media. We try to cover it all, and we put out a lot of videos, a lot of clips. Make sure y'all check us out. But anyway, let's get on to this Chrome 23 Cancel Christmas event. Matter of fact, before we do that, everybody has their own preference. Battle rap isn't judged in modern day. It has to be a tournament or a special situation where people put money up for it to be judged. Everyone has their preference, and the public judges battles. What constitutes as hot to me might not constitute as hot to you. But I don't believe that battle rap should be mimicking the music industry, because this is the last arena we have that's somewhat pure. So, with that being said, I am a fan of bars. What is a bar? Merriam-Webster doesn't necessarily have Merriam-Webster doesn't necessarily have a definition of what a bar is, so I hear a lot of people make stuff up. But I'm a fan of people who flip words and play with the English language in a way that has a lot of depth and forces you to think. I'm also a fan of people who have what I like to call natural rap ability. When you just know someone didn't learn how to rap on YouTube, they didn't watch all their favorite people, then jump up. There's something robotic and weird about it. People who grew up rapping, grew up in and out of venues, going to open mics, they have a certain rap ability that the copycats don't have. So those are the two things that I always look for, and two things that I put above anything else, and probably also creativity. So I don't like a lot of these people that sound the same. I want to encourage people to sound different. So throughout my videos, you'll see me talking about certain things that may be unpopular opinions, which I'm aware of, but I feel like battle rap is in this state where a lot of people have the same opinions, and it's kind of boring. So please allow me to come in and shake shit up a little bit. So anyway, with that being said, the first battle of the night was Taz, or Tasmanian Taz, versus Shiest Raw. Now, in the building, they seem to like this battle. I wasn't super impressed with the battle. I'll get into why in a second. But I feel like as bloggers that talk about battle rap, you don't need to tell people that shit was trash or this shit sucked. Well, sometimes you do, but we'll get into that in a second. But I believe that we should be able to give constructive criticism, right? Because when Taz got out of that battle, she did the interview and she said, yo, like, I want to be in Remy's tournament, da-da-da-da-da. And I know that tournament might be reserved for like the top 8 girls or the hottest girls that have put on dope performances on Chrome 23. What I saw in this battle a lot was one syllable raps, right? When you just rhyme one word with the next word. I feel like the degree of difficulty and what these two sisters were saying wasn't on a super high level. Now, Tasmanian Taz has a very good projection, right? When she gets in your face, when she says certain things, the crowd was able to feel it. That's why I think she got a lot of love in the building. Shiest Raw, I feel like she got a little less love in the building, but she has a very good voice, very good delivery, and it matches her stature because she's a little bit bigger and physically opposing. And I feel like the way she talks and the way she rhymes matches that. But I feel like this battle was kind of lackluster, but due to the one syllable raps, because both of them had good enough delivery. I think these two need to push their pen a little bit more, right? like when you sit down and you watch people who are quote unquote bar heavy and you look at the creativity that goes into the line, you know what I'm saying? It's not just and they neither of them said none of this, but it's not just like, hey yo, I'm a wild cat, so I'll come out and I hit you with a bat. Niggas know I got the strap. Like you have to go a little bit deeper than that to be seen as a real threat. You know what I'm saying? When people like Prestavia first arrived on the scene, they wasn't one syllable rhyming, so it was easier for them to escalate through the game. So I know Shice Raw been in it for a minute, and I actually preferred Shice Raw in this battle. But Taz, I think you need to really sit down and study how to make your rhymes more complex because you already got the delivery, and I think you'll be dope once you get that done. Now, speaking of narratives, we're gonna get into this E-Hart versus QB Black Diamond battle. Another one which was highly anticipated, arguably battle of the night right here. I might have it a battle of the night. We'll see when I get to the end of the video. But yo, there's a narrative out there about QB, and I'm starting to realize it more and more. I think just from speaking to her and seeing how she moves, she feels hated because when someone is seen as a lyricist or bar heavy the way E-Hart is, I think people have a tendency to lean towards that style, as I do myself, which you'll see through this recap. But I think there's something to be said. QB is an original. QB is creative. She has a great delivery, and her bars are good enough to hang. Like her best bars were some of the best bars of this event. So I see a lot of people saying 3-0 E-Hart. Hell no. I don't know how you could have that opinion. The first round, I think QB cleared it. I said to myself, if it goes like this, QB is going to clearly win. The second round, E-Hart came out blazing. Like, that's what I really like to see. Like, that was one of E-Hart's best rounds of the last few years. Like, that was crazy. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody that will deny that. The third round from both, I think it was good. And let me say this, too. In QB's second round, she clowned a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the same way with a lot of close battles. If you change the order of your rounds, and usually I tell people, yo, if you're going to take a risk, do it in the second round. But E-Hart's second round was so crazy that it was like, oh, like QB was funny, but E-Hart was going bananas. And I feel like the third round, QB kind of got back to business, and I preferred E-Hart's third round a little bit more, so I gave it to E-Hart 2-1. I feel like it was an excellent battle, but I see people saying QB 3-0. You can't be a revisionist in the moment. And what do I mean by revisionist in the moment? Because most people say revisionist history. What I mean by revisionist in the moment is you can't say, okay, QB got the first round, and then you love E-Hart's second round so much, you say, oh, E-Hart 2-0, and then by the end, it's, oh, E-Hart won 3-0. No, that's not how it goes. You have to be fair when you assess these battles. I really feel like saying E-Hart won 3-0 is not giving QB the proper credit she deserves. She got that first round. So E-Hart 2-1, great battle. Then the third battle, C3 versus Charlie Clips. Now here's another narrative that we're going to talk about, right? Charlie Clips, we all know that when he's on point, he's the best, right? And maybe you can probably argue that, but top 5, you would not put him under the top 5 if you go off just his top performances. The problem that people have with Clips is that sometimes he doesn't show up. Now, I see a lot of fans being sour with him because even when he does good, they're like, oh, it's not really about the battles. Well, how long is this going to last and how long with that? But in this battle right here was crazy. I knew this was going to be a perfect matchup because C3 and Charlie Clips both are relatable, have charisma, have great freestyle ability, and have excellent punchlines. And my thing was who was going to be more creative coming into this battle, I think was going to win because they both have the ability to just go crazy and say dope shit, right? Charlie Clips had something in his rounds where he was breaking down the number 3 and he was doing like addition and multiplication and then flipping the way he was saying C3. That was really impressive. I saw people trying to downplay the degree of difficulty um, that that is involved in coming up with something like that. Like as a writer, you gotta love and respect what Charlie Clips did in the battle because that shit was low key amazing. Like he flipped around the words. Um, then he also like he had like this crazy rebuttal when C3's girl tried to jump in and because Clips was talking about her ass. Like this was like a highly entertaining battle. The second round was incredible. I think Clips versus C3 second round is the round of the whole night. Like the way C3 was able to bounce back. And then here's another thing too, the non-conversational rebuttals, man. You crazy. I hate you. All that stuff makes it fun to watch. So I had Charlie Clips winning this battle because I just thought creatively he dug and went into a deeper level. Now let's talk about Charlie Clips. Do we talk about Charlie Clips' whole career, or do we talk about him on a battle-to-battle basis? If you look at this on a battle-to-battle basis, this is on point with what you expect and what you want to see from Clips. We just hope that he keeps it up. But when I hear people saying that they didn't like this battle or Clips did this, yo, Clips was fire in this battle and C3 was fire too, and you guys need to give it the proper respect it deserves no matter what happened, you know what I'm saying, outside of this battle. And what I also liked was that Clips took time out in the beginning to talk to bloggers, and he was saying that, like, the poem was a trap. I don't think it was an actual trap, but I appreciate him creatively for coming up with that way to intro the battle. I was glued to the computer screen the whole battle. So, do I like? Now I think E-Hart's second might have been the round of the whole night. So I don't know. I think Clips and C3 was a little more entertaining. E-Hart and QB was kind of more of like your bar fest. So let's get into the big battle, the one everyone want to see, the one with Champion of the Year and Woman of the Year implications, and both for this situation. Jaz the Rapper versus Big K. Going into this, I posed the question, and I saw a lot of people talking about it in the internet sphere, is now if Jaz washes Big K, can she win Cody of the Year and Wody of the Year? For those that don't know, it's Champion of the Year, which is just, overall best battle rapper, and Woman of the Year, which is best female battle rapper, obviously. Yeah, that like Jaz had an opportunity to pull that off with this performance. And Big K, there's implications because he's going for Champion of the Year right now. And his biggest competition, as a lot of people see it, is Easy to Block Captain. And depending on what goes on later on this weekend, probably also it could be New Jersey Twerk in that conversation. There's a couple others too. But those are the two everybody wanted to see. But we got Big K and Jaz, and we got Easy versus John John next week. So, first round, Jaz wild. Like when we talk about technical writing ability and depth to your writing, how Jaz was doing like she was breaking down like the letter K and the way it sounds and how it sounds like another letter, which is C, and she was just using alliteration and digging really deep with her writing. I appreciate it and I respected that. And when Big K come out, he had dope lines, but I feel like what Jaz did all around had a higher degree of difficulty, and I pretty much think the consensus is that Jaz won that first round. Great first round to start off the battle, I think, but clearly Jaz. All right. Now, second round. This is where Big K like really, really, really turned up. When he said, I think he said, "There's so many brushes with the law, I could have got waves." Like Big K was just in vintage punching. Big K, like, I'm not taking the light on you because you're a woman, Jaz. You gonna get the same punches. These like incredible round from Big K going into that second round. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about chokes and I want to talk about stumbles. Something that happened in this battle is that each battler had some stumbles. When Jaz came back, And when Jazz went in her second round, um, she had what a lot of people are referring to as a choke. This one's a little tough for me because chokes are, I like to say, like 7 to 10 seconds of sitting there looking befuddled is a choke, or not saying anything or repeating the same word over and over again. It was a choke. But I think because the situation was high intensity and there was a lot of pressure on both of them, it made what Jazz did like more resounding. It made it like it hit harder, or it hurt her performance more. I don't think Jazz choked. I think she had a stumble and she took 5 seconds to get it back and then got back on point. A lot of people are counting it as a choke. Now, if you count it as a choke, round gone. You know what I mean? I think even if Jazz didn't have that stumble, Big K would have still took the second round because he was on fire. And here's one thing I want to say about elite battle rappers, and this goes back to the people like Shice Raw and Tasmanian Taz that I talked about earlier. There's like an intangible that you have when you are elite at this craft that can't really be taught, right? So Jazz had a stumble where instead of the word narcissist, she said narcissist, right? And people were kind of like, oh, and the way that she just got it back and laughed and just like made it fun and enjoyable, like people don't really take points off of that type of stuff. So I think there's, when you're poised and when you're charismatic, I think it can take you really far. So I don't believe that Jazz's second round hurt that much, just the way that she bounced back and played it off. And also that Keith Lee bar was crazy, man. The Keith Lee bar was crazy. A mill in the whip, judging a mill in the whip was crazy. And when Jazz took out the long ass list of all the people that Big K blocked, that was hot. Like maybe if Jazz didn't have that stumble, or what some people are calling a choke, maybe they be judging the second round differently. But I thought Big K was hard, like he was on fire. Now round 3, this is gonna be, I think, a deciding factor for a lot of people out there, because Jaz the Rapper had an angle about basically saying that how men treat women is what white people did to black people, and using that against Big K. It was creativity, but it was risky. And then, you know, she even mentioned that Big K was like referring to black women as mud ducks. And when Big K came back, he said, I wasn't talking about black people. I was just talking about the women in your family. Yeah, I think that in my personal preference is Big K was on fire in the second and third round. Like, I think he took that third round because I believe there's sometimes for you to take an angle, and we all know angles can be risky, and I feel like there's sometimes for you to just punch. And I feel like with these type of implications, maybe what the angle Jazz took, it was smart, it was well thought out, it was well written, but it just didn't hit as hard as, for me, as a lot of Big K's lines. So I had Big K taking it kind of like a 2-1 edge. And like I don't subscribe to the whole like Jazz choked, it was over for her. Like I don't it wasn't that bad. It was just a high intensity situation. I think Jazz could still retain Woman of the Year with this performance, and I think Big K could retain Champion of the Year with this performance. But I think due to a couple stumbles, it kind of like broke the tension that was in the air. And I think due to Jazz's choke, like I would say the battle is maybe like an 8 out of 10, to where without those things, I feel like it could have been a 9. Or if Jazz shortened up that angle in the third, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we would have been looking at a very, very good battle. Would I call it a classic? No. I think the closest thing that we got to on this card, as far as classics are concerned, I'll probably say maybe E-Hart and QB, or man, that Clips versus C3 second round was incredible. That's the stuff that I really like to see. Overall, I think it was a decent event, and once again, I think that 4 battles does not make me mad. I don't care how much I pay for it. I do not want to watch battles for 99 hours straight, because my brain will start hurting, especially on a weekend like this where we have 3 battles straight. So without any further ado, I got 2 more recaps to do this weekend. Don't quote me. Every single Friday comes out. We got some big guests coming up. We got some celebrities. We got some battlers coming up. So you're going to see me blogging more often on a weekly basis like this. You're going to catch me on the Don't Quote Me show on Fridays. And then also I'll be dropping one-on-one interviews soon. So a lot of battlers I haven't talked to yet, hit me up, man. I got some battlers and some celebrities coming up. 2024 is definitely a content year, but we're going to end 2023 great. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Once again, on everything, I'm at Direct, DRECT. Salute and holla.